halfway through this video and then my memory card was full because I forgot to delete like old footage, and I feel like that throws me off every time. So here we go again. Hi you guys, today I wanted to share my February wrap up and also talk about some of the books I want to read in March. I've noticed a lot of people don't do like wrap ups and TBRs anymore. I don't know when that happened on YouTube, if that's been a thing for a while or if that's a new thing. But back in my day, when we used to do these videos, we would always do a wrap up and a TBR. So my question is, do you guys like having just a wrap up? Do you like having it all together? Do you like a wrap up video and a TBR video? Do you not care? I don't know, but today we're gonna do what I read in February as well as what I hope to read in March, because you know, I'm just tentatively choosing books. I'm just going with the flow. I read some really good books in February that I'm excited to talk about, so we're just gonna dive right in. I started February off with Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this one I have not finished. I want to say I'm somewhere in like page 70 to 100. I briefly discussed this in a previous video, but this one was different than I expected. So this is actually a memoir that follows the author's life. She has this perfect life. She's a very successful author in New York City. She has this really nice house. She's married. She has everything going for her, but she's not happy. And I think she's a little bit lost with who she is in life. So she ends up going through a divorce. She separates from her husband. She deals with all of the stress that brings. And she's dealing with mental health issues like depression, anxiety, all of that. So at the end of this kind of really traumatic period in her life, she decides to just pack up and move to Italy. And this book actually follows her through Italy, India, and Indonesia. When I first picked this up, I thought it was going to be like just a really fun kind of lighthearted fiction romance. I didn't realize it was a memoir about the author's life. It deals with more like self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment, and it's a little bit more philosophical than I thought it was going to be. I've enjoyed what I've read so far, but I found that I wasn't excited about it as much once I started reading it. I didn't feel like this pull to keep turning the pages. And I honestly feel like I was more excited about the concept of this, or what I thought it was going to be, than the actual book itself. I really wanted to watch the movie, so I was planning on reading the book and then watching the movie, but I am just going to set it aside for now and maybe pick it back up later. But if you've read this, let me know your thoughts, because I feel like on Goodreads it has mixed reviews, but it's also like one of the top ranked books on like bestseller lists on all different websites. So I feel like people like this, but I just haven't gotten into it yet. After that, I was like, you know what, I really want to just read something good, like something that I feel really into, that I love. Like there is nothing better than when you find a book that you are like obsessed with or that you're engaged with. I always get sidetracked, you guys, and go off on tangents, but I ended up going on Goodreads. I've been really interested in like looking at recommendations and different like lists on there, and the Luck series by Jennifer L. Armentrout popped up on like some kind of list that I was reading, and I remember thinking, I have that book and I've never read that, because I bought this like 3 or 4 years ago. I found it at the bargain section of Books A Million. I paid $3.97, and this is actually like the bind up that has the first 2 books. So this is the beginnings with Obsidian and Onyx. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try that because I already have the book on my shelf. I wanted a book like right then, so I went and picked it up and I started reading it, and I love these books so far. I've been invested, I've been wanting to read, I've stayed up for hours. I ended up finishing both Obsidian and Onyx. When I read through Obsidian, I was still a little unsure. Like I enjoyed the series, but I wasn't super invested. But after I read through Onyx, I was pretty like, okay, like I have to keep going. If you're not familiar with this series, this is a young adult paranormal romance, and it actually follows this group of aliens that is living in this little town in West Virginia, and they, you know, they look like humans. Nobody knows that they're aliens, but people know that they're kind of different. It's sort of like in the Twilight series when all of like the vampires had a certain look, like they were all very attractive and very mysterious, and there was something about them. They had this kind of like, I don't know if you would call it an it factor, but just something about them that made them stand out and made them different. These aliens had that same kind of effect. Like people are kind of afraid of them. They think that they're a little bit weird, but they're very attractive. They're very like mysterious, and people are fascinated by them. The story is actually told from a girl named Caddie's perspective. She's just a normal 17-year-old girl, and she moves to their town with her mom, and she actually moves in next door to a couple of them. and starts kind of interacting with them. She starts becoming friends, but you know, it's super dangerous for both of them to be associated with the other. And it has just a very interesting dynamic, an interesting story. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of different enemies and all kinds of things going on. So I read both Obsidian and Onyx this month. They both had a lot going on, but Onyx had so much stuff happen. It was like one thing after the next. In some books you have like, you know, like the plot build up and like the climax and then it falls. And I feel like in this one, and even in the first one, it was like one thing after the next, and it just kept going and going and going. And there are so many characters, so many twisted stories and twisted people, and people aren't who you think they are. And a lot of it I could kind of foresee. Like, I feel like Jennifer L. Armentrout kind of foreshadows a little bit of what's going to happen. And I mean, if you're perceptive, you can kind of be like, okay, like she's kind of hinting that that's weird or that's off. It's probably because of this. But it's so engaging. Of course, while I was still reading, I immediately ordered the next one, which is the Consequences bind-up. This one has Opal and Origin, the third and fourth book, so I'm currently reading Opal. I do hope this month to finish these, and if I'm lucky, I'm going to try and get through Opposition. I would really like to finish the whole series and just kind of get it out of the way. Last book on my TBR for March, I'm so excited about. This one I was sent a review copy of, and it actually comes out, I believe, on April 1st. What I Like About Me by Jenna Gielm. It's about a young girl named Maisie. Is it Maisie or Macy? Because it's both an S. I think Maisie. I'm terrible with names, you guys. Deals with body confidence issues and ends up joining a beauty pageant. Got some family issues going on. There's a romance. I love a good contemporary, like, feel good, and I think that this kind of book is great for the spring and summer. So I have high hopes for this. I hope that I love it. I will keep you guys posted. I'll share my review, but if you want to read like the synopsis or add it to your cart, I'll link it below with the rest of the books as well. I love the cover, and I was, like I said, sent this, so thank you so much to Jenna and the publishing company again for sending me this. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to share it. I think that that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know below what you are reading this month, because I would love more book recommendations. Like this video if you liked it. Feel free to subscribe if you want, and I will catch you guys very soon. Bye.